everybody. It's No Reservations, and this is season 2, episode 2. Now, thanks for rocking with us again. Today's guest, an illustrious human being that I personally know. You might not know him, but by the end of the episode, you're going to. Talented artist, father, entrepreneur, co-host of a dope-ass show, a good friend. You know what? I'm not going to spoil any more labels. I don't like labeling people, so without further ado, Tek Tha SupahLAtin.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yes,
bang.
welcome.
It is an honor.
Thanks for rocking with us, bro.
Thank you for the introduction.
I try.
He's the best at intro, definitely the best. But we appreciate you hopping on. Dunn said he knows you really well. Me, unfortunately, I've just met you, so it's kind of nice to be able to have someone on that I personally don't know, because that just opens up the floodgates of questions.
Of course. I'm here for him.
Yeah, so just to start off, because he knows you as Tek, but he also knows the person behind Tek. And that's what we're trying to get behind is, who is that person behind Tek Tha SupahLAtin?
My government name is Anthony Rivera Jr. I'm just a family man. I grew up in hip hop and wipe my ass like you.
Now, he was talking about kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I have a daughter who's just turned 3 in December on the 11th. And my son is 10. He turned 10 on the 7th of December.
That is
7th
amazing.
for my son, 11th for my daughter.
Dang, that's amazing.
I like to get it on during my birthday.
Hey, I understand. I didn't have
I'm an Aries, yeah.
I understand. Bro, you're doing great, though. Like my wife said, it's great to have you here, learning who you are, our viewers learning who you are. First guest of season 2.
Yes.
And as far as like, you're a father, you're many things that I described in the beginning, but again, the person behind Tek, really, like, who is that? What is that person? Who is you?
You know,
I mean it that way. Who is you?
Yeah, Tek, I started doing hip hop. I was introduced into hip hop, and my whole story really is hip hop because I was born in '89. I was on stage in 1991. My father had a career, and he had a good career. He had some accolades. He's beatboxing 8 Mile, was in the movie She's All That, licensed music to Can't Hardly Wait. Does some stuff on Sábado Gigante, the Bernie Mac show, George Lopez. He's got to do some things. So for me, growing up in the industry, it was just a long journey, man. Like I said, I started in '91, and there's a lot of memories, a lot of OGs come into play. Your Supernaturals, Born Allahs, I Killed from Jurassic 5. I grew up this way. Before Cypress Hill blew up, we were doing shows with them and E40. And my father was in a time that, for me, was very pivotal. I'm 36, celebrating 34 years of hip hop as an entertainer this year, and it's a crazy journey. And we ran through. Pops got sponsored. We're sponsored by Drunken Monkey and Nike, Skechers, Adidas. So I grew up a little bit privileged in a sense because not a lot of kids, from my community grew up with fathers, let alone somebody who was, making this type of impact,
Right.
In the hip hop community. And rightfully so. My father is one of the, pioneers of beatboxing on the West Coast for, the raza. Straight up, there is not a lot of ways to go around.
Super dope. He's a SupahLAtin.
He's a SupahLAtin, right? For sure. He got that name because he DJ, produced, beatbox, engineered his own shit. Live sound guy. He's been doing this his whole life. So that's how he, came about having the title of the SupahLAtin. That's really what it meant. There was no limits. You know what I mean? And being an original man, it made sense.
Right. That does make sense. It shows up in your character and what you do. Be that you're an Aries, or be that you had a great influence, a great father, like you said. Our people, our gente, the raza in the hood, we don't have, it's very little that there's a male figure in a positive light that's always trying to execute, hey, you need to be your best, and then you get to carry the SupahLAtin legacy on through everything you do.
Right, yeah. Right. I might have told this story to you before, in case you guys didn't know. I'm going to say it now. Doing music all the way up until high school, because my father was tied into the game, was, it was a dope journey. But when I graduated high school in 2007, I graduated in June, and come November, I ended up getting in a car accident with my brother, and I almost killed him. And we flipped off the freeway on the way to church. My father became a licensed minister. He gave up, music around the end of 2000, and was doing a whole, he was going to, his own personal life journey for what he needed to be for all of this to become what it is today. After that moment, man, it was bad. It was bad. My brother had severe brain trauma, minor stroke, lungs collapsed. He was in a coma for 4 weeks. It was trying. And during that moment, I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital. And it was real hard for me to go to the hospital and watch my brother not be able to wake up or move and speak and all those things. And one day my dad gets a call, right? Because at this point, my mom's taking time off of work and all this shit. So it was like, well, we're going to lose the house. We can't lose the fucking house. Mm-hmm. My pops gets this call to do, I believe, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was like a Verizon thing. And it was like this app that they were going to develop where you could have beatboxers, and, Super Nat was involved with it, and some other dope beatboxers, Butterscotch and Mustafa, and I think Scratch even. So it was like a real dope thing. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but, the call came in and he had to leave. And he had to go on a tour. And they did Vegas and I think Miami, and then they had to go to Spain, and they had to like really leave and travel. And it's like the hardest moment of my life because I'm still 18 years old, right? And I'm like, I almost killed my brother. And my parents, are there taking care of everything. And now my mom has to go to work. My dad has to go to work to keep us floating. And who is there with my brother? It fell on me. I had to be there. Mm-hmm. And I had this moment where it was rough for me, but I end up, I'm trying to get out of having to go see him. But at this point, he was already a couple days or a week into like, he kind of was eyes open.
He was a little more responsive.
Little bit more responsive, but he couldn't speak well. And he had tubes all in his mouth, but it was like the fucking worst shit you could fucking imagine. But he was in a coma for 4 weeks. They had to have, so, between cleaning things and him not getting no infections and stuff. And by the time, the 4 weeks is up and they pull this shit out and he's breathing on his own, he couldn't talk. His vocal cords were damaged. So every time he would talk, it was sounded like screeching, just like, and I had to sit there and watch this in person because my mom had to go back to work and my dad had to fly out the country. And that day that I was forced to be there, I remember, sitting next to the bedside. He's taking a nap. SpongeBob is on TV. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but I hear him laughing. And I'm thinking he's choking because he was asleep. And in my head, everything is dramatic.
Yeah.
So he's laughing and I'm like, he's awake. And he's laughing and he looks at me and he goes, what happened? But it was in a whisper. And I fucking broke down, bro. I broke down so fucking bad. I couldn't believe it. And I remember it was yesterday, bro. Like, what the fuck? What happened? And I was like, bro, I fell asleep driving and we flipped off the freeway. And I'm sorry. And he was like, it's okay, I forgive you. And then the pastor walked in. And ever since that day, it was a constant search for knowledge of self, of, what it is that I believe, the integrity I was going to carry as a man from here on out. It was, thank you. It was so life-changing, bro. Like some of the realest shit I've ever been through. And I was on a fucking journey in a search ever since, bro, to make sense of everything I could. And then, then 17 years after that, because that's where we're at now, it became learn how to forgive myself, learn how to cherish the moments, learn how to be a stand-up individual no matter what, because nothing else mattered anymore. And then Brother Maaz became the evolution and the rebirth of Anthony Rivera Jr. And then that's how you get Brother Maaz of recent, probably the last 4 years I've been pumping that. And, still Tek Tha SupahLAtin. You're never going to get not Tek, but, you got a different version of Tek for the rest of your life now.
A more like advanced, a more understanding of self, a
Right.
more appreciative
And
of
people,
today and the people.
right, and people and consideration and loyalty and honor and integrity and how to just move in love.
Blessing, bro, that you're saying this because like outsider looking in as to you're telling everyone, telling us, but everyone this at the same time getting to know you, is that your family taught you how to step in for family.
Right.
And then you can only know when it's time to forgive yourself. Everyone can always tell you. My wife will tell you this. Everyone can always tell you you're gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
exactly.
and just in motion, you just go, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta
But you gotta be ready for Brother Maaz to reemerge and be
right.
the new skin, the new you now.
Right.
The more accepting, and you know that's a blessing, bro. Like that's not easy to give forward, and that's not easy to deal with on a day to day, or even bring it up because, like you said, it's
Oh
like
man, it's emotional, bro. I mean, it is. But there's no way we can highlight or go further into anything and accolades and anything that I've been able to do in the past few years without you knowing the amount of sacrifice and the amount of shit you got to go through uh, to attain the purpose that you were given. Because it's different when you find your purpose. It's one thing to be, good at what you do, but to find a purpose and then walk it and stand on it, it's a process, very much so. And thank God for the OGs around me. And Benny's, man, my fucking brother, man. Shout out to B Smith Mador.
That's right. It's live studio audience tonight.
Without people like that in my corner, bro, this would be a lot harder. You know what I mean? But these are people that I've shared tears with, just like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm real, bro. If there's one thing anybody's supposed to take away from anything that I say and any success that comes our way, we're real. And I could give a fuck about anything less.
That's what No Reservations is also, where you be real. Only being real is what it's about. No reservations on not giving yourself, not putting yourself forward.
Right.
You're already doing that,
Right. Well, like it's just like you said, you can't talk about the accolades, you can't talk about the accomplishments without talking about what sacrifices and what work you had to put in to even get those accomplishments. That trophy you may have gotten, for instance, I played softball growing up, so very competitive person, winning that trophy, it's like, cool, I got this trophy, but do you know what it took for me? The amount of practice, the amount of hours I went through, the amount of bruises and cuts and blood and sweat and tears that I had to get to this trophy. And that's what it is with No Reservations is you have such an amazing platform. You have this amazing network. Somebody can say your name and everybody knows you, but nobody knows you.
Right.
And what got you to where you're at. And it's these moments like this that we want to capture here on No Reservations, is to make sure that people know, hey, as long as you have the time and you want to do it, and you push yourself into determination to get to where you want to get to, you could do it. But you have to do it in yourself. You can't have anybody else pushing you. Exactly. You can have that support, but nobody's going to do it for you. And that's one of the reasons why I was very, very like, hey, we got to get Tek. We got to get Tek. I know he has a good backstory. I understand. Like this wasn't just handed to you. He's done the work. And like you said earlier, you're an Aries. So us Aries, we're stubborn. We're hard-headed. We're very much like when we want something, we're going to get it because we put that work in. And that's why just watching the podcast, the streaming episodes you have on Thursdays, him coming on to the show and me watching these next episodes and stuff, I was just like, we need to have him on. This is a great way to like work together, really.
Of course. Like I said, I support this platform as much as I can, and we're just getting started. But these things need to exist in our community. We don't have enough of them. You know what I mean? And it's easy to put the uniform on. You know what I mean? But when it comes off, it has to have some sort of integrity. It has to have some sort of foundation to build upon. So, shout out to you guys for being able to do the family, husband and wife thing, because I come from a family in hip hop that's well known.
Yes.
So it's such a dope thing.
Yeah, it's new, but like-minded individuals are in each other's circle, and the circle isn't big. because it's only a small amount of people. So we appreciate that, you're doing it. You come from the family. This is still new to me, and it's always exciting. Like we talked
Right.
candidly off camera, it's exciting these days.
Right.
Whether it's her and I or it's our guest, just that we're getting back into it, So
That's amazing.
your platform is unique, is as unique of a person as you are. And that's what you gotta be. You're going with the flow, right? But you're your own Tek Tha SupahLAtin. You're your own SupahLAtin.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to 100, bro. And I'm just, I'm figuring out my journey and my path, man. There's no
It's not just
secret.
50 or 50 to get to 100.
Right.
70-25, 70-30.
The 70-25 is 95. But if you add five more,
See, that's the ganas.
That's the one way, to get to the destination. One way in, one way out.
So like all this, right? We're getting to know you, family background, how you sacrificed to get to where you're at today, the new skin. But like, what happened the day your father passed you the torch? Like, what?
Sheesh.
How did that?
First of all, I told him I wrote a record for the Brother Maaz, name, and I was like, I had said something about Brother Maaz, formerly known as Tek Tha Supah. And then he said, I'm going to make sure I cut Brother Maaz out of the Empire will then, or you have to keep the SupahLAtin name. He said, you're Tek Tha SupahLAtin. I love everything you do. And, that's when I knew I already had the torch. Getting the passing of it, I'm sure it came, probably not too much longer before though. I mean, my father's carried it, all the way up until, probably very recent. You know what I mean? But I started realizing even with the torch that there is no replacing the king. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not how it works. So just because I have the torch,
carve out your own kingdom as the king now. But
right. Well, actually, it's not even for my own kingdom. It's to build one family empire. I mean, what would be the point of having 5 kingdoms? Because there's 5 of them. Like,
right. No, I don't mean kingdom in the sense of you creating something, but now adding your legacy to the foundation that's already there.
And I tried to, and I thought about that at one point. Like, man, how do I take it to the next level? And I realized even if I could, it doesn't matter. He's still alive. Like, ultimately, none of this is for me anyways. It's really for my kids, right? So I realized even with the torch, I still had to follow instruction. And when it was time to go back ahead, I just go get it and bring it back, no question.
Head down, do the work.
And that's just what it is, because my father is here, and I'm not going to disrespect the fact that he's the king, no matter what I think. Ultimately, if he says, I don't give a fuck how you feel, you go shake that man's hand, then that's just what it is. And if he said, yo, he crossed the line, then I'm bringing back a hand or a head. It's that simple. SupahLAtin legacy.
It only makes sense. I mean, click the SupahLAtin. Shout outs to you. You and Miss SupahLAtin created this
amazing being,
great human being that's pushing the legacy even into the grandkids. Los SupahLATins, mira?
Exactly. I can see it now, dog. Planes, flying flags.
SupahLAtin is just flying by. Just flying by doing shit.
Flying by doing shit.
Right.
Not just flying by like a ninja superhero, but like doing stuff. Building the commercial.
SupahLAtin.
Real shit.
That's not a soundbite that you hear in the background of people laughing. That's actually a studio audience laughing.
Make some noise for the audience.
Yay!
Hey guys, after having a great conversation with our guest for this week's episode, it was brought to light that our branding was nowhere to be seen. Thank you, Tek Tha SupahLAtin, for your feedback. No Reservations shines brighter now because of you. Stay tuned. No Reservations every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Paid a few bills, some commercials, sponsors, all that kind of good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we're back with Tek Tha SupahLAtin. Sacrifice, accolades, but you can't give the accolades before you tell the sacrifice of the story, which is what we've been doing. And don't fake the funk. We'll share that with you guys later. But we're back, bro. We're back, man. This is a moving episode. It's like you're our first guest for season 2. It's like I don't know you, but I know you more. Like I know you, but I know you even more now.
It's deeper now.
It's deeper.
Pause. Pause.
You need a pause button.
You know, I'm 36, barely getting into the pause game.
Yeah,
so
I've
forgive
never-
me. It's still funny.
To me, it's like, chill.
Right.
Don't, no homo.
I've never mid conversation paused anybody. I'm an adult.
Anyhow, but yeah, bro. Glad to have you here, man. It's a very introspectful, real eye-opening episode, which is what we like to do here, you know. And you didn't hold anything back.
No, sir.
Nothing here is scripted, and we're not telling you what to say, do, act, feel, express, and
You paid me a lot, though.
you know, hey, and you paid me a lot when I was there too. So this is how you pay it forward, people. Learn from this shit.
Yep.
One hand shakes the other hand. Some say wipes the other hand, but nah. But yeah, man. You know, thanks for having us, bro, on your platform. Thanks for being here. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you guys for having me, man. You guys made it real comfortable.
Oh, I'm so glad.
You guys fed me too. And I have a cactus cooler. I gave them an Inca Cola on my show. Now I got a cactus cooler. It was the two best sodas. You're gonna do it. You know,
that's number 2 now. Cactus Cooler got bumped down
One
to
and
2
two.
because of Inca Cola. I stand on what I stand.
Dang, I need to try this Inca Cola now.
I'm bringing you one. I got
Yeah, I'm gonna try this now.
What did I say? It's like Sprite
with a little bit of
with the little
cane sugar from Mexico.
but
Mexican
then
cane sugar.
a cream sugar at the end.
Yeah, a little cream
Ooh.
soda. Yeah. It's kind of, you know.
Inca Cola. Thanks for sponsoring us.
It's like a chai latte, but soda wise, not tea. Because you know how a latte.
That's an interesting way to put it.
It's tea. A chai latte is a tea that you put creamer in. So is that what this cola is then? Yeah.
A little carbonation.
Without the
We're
carbonation.
just evolving the beverage levels now.
I know.
You guys should pay us. See how we sponsor your shit?
You know, somebody's gonna make some money off of this. That's for sure.
No, so we were definitely talking about, you know, the torch somewhat being passed, but not passed. It was just kind of like you're continuing on his legacy. Yeah, it's still a legacy to me because, you know, it's just making sure the king is continuing on with his kingdom in your own way, of course. So has there been any like generational, considerational stuff that you've had to do? Because obviously the time that he really blew up and he became what he's become was in the 90s, right? So now that we're in 2025, whole new generation. So what type of like stuff have you had to do to make sure that you keep that going, what he put on, but in the generations that we have now?
I don't feel like I've done much of anything really. I was raised analog. So my approach to all of the things that I venture into are always the analog route.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if anything, I'm hip to the social media to a point, but it wasn't until just a few years ago where I started really paying attention to an algorithm to try to be able to bring that to the legacy and to the, you know, the empire that we're creating, because it's something that we need to know. I mean, how do we exist without social media in 2025, right?
Yeah.
So
Because they didn't do it like this.
at all, man. I'm street team. I'm in the face. I'm from a time where motherfuckers is like,
hit the city.
oh, you rap? Let me hear you. And we're on the street. Now it's like, you rap? Yeah, my cousin does too. Here's an album. Like, bro, I don't even know if your art is expensive as my art that I create. Like, how do we determine that? You know what I mean? When it's all subjective in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, it became a point where it was like, well, somebody's going to have to learn this digital shit. And, my father is not going to be the guy to learn the digital shit. So, I started getting hit to social media and, watching other people's strategies and stuff like that. Because, like everybody else who's just on social media, just as a consumer, I'm posting bullshit. It's what I ate today. You know what I mean? Like, how to learn how to turn that into, actual marketing strategy and watch an algorithm, actually shake and play with hashtags and then find my timing and what windows do my audience tap into. And you learn so much about it and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Everybody's lunchtime starts about the same time, right?
Yeah.
12:30, 1 o'clock. So if I post between 11 and 1 o'clock, I'm going to have a decent amount of traffic coming in.
Exactly.
It's those things that you start realizing, okay.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the stop sign is red and why to go is green. And why when cops are behind you is blue and red. There's reasons now. So are we paying attention to it and why? And then you start learning a little bit of marketing and you start learning strategy. I would say that's the biggest thing. Luckily, I was grateful enough to have a partner to my network. So it's not 100% me. I do all of the face shit, and he does all the behind the scenes shit. And he's good at it. So it allows me to dabble a little bit into his area, and then, you know, he gets to play a little bit of my area. And, you know, any business relationship is exactly like a marriage.
All relationships
You know,
like that.
it's going to require you trusting your person and not going, I'm working harder than you. Like, no, if I had a week, you had a week, because how can the left hand and the right hand be that far in sync, right? So it's you know, it's a real fucking blessing to have somebody that I don't have to turn around and go, how are we doing on Google? How are we doing everywhere else?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I haven't sent you no money in 3 years. Are we good?
Yeah.
Are we good? And it's that type of shit that is like, you know, not everybody finds those people. And, you know, it takes time to build a team and to build the trust, and you know what I mean? And then you watch how far you go as a company, and you, at some point, you don't even question what they're doing. And then it allows everybody to be mad productive. And I think that's, I mean, really, I think that's it. You know, my father was less of a outgoing individual. He was definitely more introverted. So, and family oriented. You know what I mean? But like,
I would never get that from you.
If you're moving around, you know,
click the SupahLAtin right now. What I've come into counter.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Like, he's very much a people person, but you got to get him in his element. It's not going to be a people person and he's at Disneyland. He's like, I don't want to fucking be here. But if it's like, yo, we're
building the stage,
we're going to go to Don One's house because I'm going to do this interview, then he's going to be sitting here chilling. You know, then he's going to be chilling. You're going to get a different version of him. You know what I mean? And it's 100% authentic. And it's not that he don't like people. He's just always done his own thing, you know? And we were just having this conversation earlier. He used to play marbles as a kid and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you're 11 playing with 8-year-old kids playing marbles? Like, that ain't weird.
How's that fun? And you're like,
I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Knock this shit out the way. And
but you know, he always was just the oddball up until the music and beatboxing and everything came, and then it was like, oh shit, he's popular, and it was like night and day. So
everyone was his friend now, right?
Right. So
remember Click.
But then everybody was his friend, but then nobody wanted to necessarily work with him. Like, he was just a little bit weirder. Like, everybody else is doing this aggressive hip hop and gang banging, and they're in a different stage in their life. And my pops is a little more like, I'm gonna do this.
I'm doing what I do.
This.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and he's like, none of these people are with him. None of these people are around him. None of them want to work with him. They're not reaching out to him. The select few that did were the ones that, you know, I've been able to call family and uncles in hip hop. And, you know, I named some of them in the beginning of the show. You know what I mean? So it was a very, very small and tight anyways. So for us, knowing that in 2025, there's just way too many things that I'm unfamiliar with. I don't know. He can't teach me. You know what I mean? So I got to go learn it and I got to go figure it out. And I have to build a team to be able to do this shit. This is new to the SupahLAtin legacy. We've never had a team like we have right now with this entire network and the hands involved.
Right.
So, you know, this already is like, I support it, but you're going to have issues because now you got to keep everybody on one page.
Yeah.
And this is why we didn't even put forth that kind of effort, but they also weren't doing a network. It was just music related. This is a whole lot bigger. You know, I felt like this was the only route I could have went as well. My father hit so many accolades, was very good at what he did. And, you know, I don't think he gets enough credit as a lyricist, which is why I take my lyricism so serious. Because I'm going, like, you guys didn't even give him the shot, and he can outbar a lot of you. And if you listen to albums, I don't know anybody who has an album that can literally be considered a classic album front to back, 5 mic in a long fucking time. There's always one record that's like, that held you back. That was the weakest one.
That's where you went.
And my father has an album called Square One that I'm like, I listen to it. I'm 36, and I'm going, it is sonically on point. He covers all his bases. He covered everything from a hip hop culture and boom bap perspective. It was conscious. It was family. It was complete.
West Coast though too,
and West Coast at that,
which was different. That's what I mean. When they're going this way, when the West Coast was going this way, Click the SupahLAtin went the
It's
other
just
way.
over here. Yeah.
Mhm.
The more, again, like you said, the more conscious, the more like this is hip hop though too. We're not just shoot 'em up, bang bang,
Right.
money, and so
Right. So
Supas is a thing. I'm starting to realize that right now. Supa
Yeah.
is equivalent to like dope, like in the '80s, like yo son, I'm mad dope fresh, yo stupid wild with the fucking technique, son. And then
for real.
like your dad comes along and goes, but I'm super with it,
Mhm.
and super nat. That's where
Right. And those are the two common,
Tech.
you know,
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was about to
cross.
say, is there a super thing that no one's knowing about? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the new dope MC. Like, I'm super though. You're
And that's
dope.
dope. You know, I think these days we look at it like you know, it's a community of people. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily just my family. Like Dun One is a super Latin,
But we're family.
but we're family.
That's what I mean by
You know what I
family.
mean?
You know?
Like, right, and that's what it is. Anybody can be a super Latin. You
I'm
just,
super.
you know, the requirements to be a super Latin
duper
is you know, hard work,
fucking trash bag out there.
persistence, integrity, honor, you know, and being multi-versatile. I mean, look, to be a screwdriver is great, right? But you're not a hammer. To be an 11 in one would be
better
a
than a
whole
5 in
lot
1.
better than just being a screwdriver. You know what I mean? Especially if it can get the job done and do what it needs to do. So, you know, we try to look at it from that perspective. If I'm going to be, you know, and it comes with a downfall because, you know, in some people's sense, you're never going to be great at all of those things. You got to be one.
But fuck what anyone
But
thinks.
fuck what they think, dog.
It's
I'm gonna
what
be
you're
I'm
good
gonna
at.
be
What
good
you're
at
gonna be
all
great
of
at
this
everything
shit.
you do.
And I think if you only have one great skill, but you have, you know, one person with one great skill who master at his shit is somebody who's good as fuck at all this shit. Maybe he ain't a master, but you can use him in more ways than one. I think that man holds more value.
Mhm.
And together, them two can take over the world, though.
Especially if they can figure out how to work together. And that's where, you know, that's where my network you know, strives to stay in line with is that right there. You know what I mean? I may not be the greatest in the world, right? Who gives a fuck? I'm better than a whole lot of motherfuckers.
Right.
And we're aware of this.
Mhm.
And imagine if everybody who was dope just kept bringing dope people to the party. Imagine what kind of community we can build. Imagine what kind of support system we can have.
It'd be like a Gemwork Radio, Gemwork Live community, in my
Exactly.
opinion.
Right.
That's what you're doing. The things that you're saying right now is truly what you do. I
Yeah.
mean, from an outsider, I'm kind of inside, but outside to a sense, like everything you're already saying, you do. It's like
Thank you.
it's to what you said earlier. You stand on what you stand on and do what you do rather than say. Oh, you don't think I can? Oh, they don't pick it
Right.
up. You want me to take a mordadita
Right.
out of it? Just eat the whole one. Just
Exactly.
fuck, I don't have no milk, but I'm gonna get through it.
I don't have no milk.
But you know, or cafe, but I'm
Real
gonna still
shit.
do it. But you
Real
know,
shit.
that's you, bro.
Man, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
How do you like in all of this, right? In all of what we're talking about, though, how do you juggle the family? Like, how do you do like family? You know, your
Include them. Like, are they
include them, you know,
included?
like you like this, you know, what we're doing, family inclusiveness, and we need more of
Right.
this. And you guys been doing that.
Yeah.
How do you juggle
Shit.
tech and then I'm dad right now,
Or I'm son.
It's
I'm Theo, you know.
No, I think the hardest part is at the moment for me that I'm wearing way too many hats from the network perspective. So sometimes, you know, with kids, I feel like I struggle more than I've watched my parents struggle when they were doing it. They were also only focused on one small part of the industry.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it was a little bit different, and you know, just to not you know, disrespect my mother in any sense. She's, you know, not talked about enough in general because the only reason why the SupahLATins have had any sort of success is because of that woman right there. Don't matter how dope my father was, he would have fucked this off a long time ago. So if it wasn't for my mother, we wouldn't have none of this.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you're right.
you know, that was the glue for all of us. And you know, she's had her moments where she could have said bye to all this shit. and said, nope, that's what it is. And pushed forward and pushed through and continue to be the glue that we needed for this to even reach the levels that it's reaching. Even in my network, it wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for my mom being, in here having a hand in it, bro. You're real shit.
The right term, the mother,
Matriarch.
the matriarch.
Yeah.
That you facts, bro. When I was over at your podcast at Gemwork Radio, Donkey Bong TV network, I saw her post, bro.
Yeah.
And that shit made me smile, bro. Like, I don't know that, but I know it from afar. So just seeing that, like,
yeah.
And you just said it, like,
constant support, man.
Madre SupahLAtin don't get enough. Sometimes not all moms even get their just due, or your partner, right?
Right.
It's always for some reason the men, like, oh,
well, right,
or
because in the sense of our industry, the man is the face and the woman is behind the sines.
True.
You know what I mean? This is just coming from someone who's seen it. You know what I mean? Because my mom had to play. She had to play behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, what was she gonna do? She didn't rap. She didn't produce.
But she believed.
But she knew how to be a consumer. And my mom, by shit, if we have to be honest, by trade, she's an entrepreneur. She's been a drug dealer ever since she was a kid.
Statute of limitations.
Allegedly,
allegations are just allegations.
Allegedly.
So what was said was never said in light of what was already never said.
But no, I mean, real shit. I mean, she grew up in an environment where she very much understood business at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it was
just like you, though.
It was because of the street. It was the other end. This is how you get a book smart, street smart Tek Tha SupahLAtin. It's because my mother had this side, and then my dad became a successful businessman. And then it turned into where I got both.
Chiquitito,
right. And watched
so is that what you're doing to make sure that your kids will know what to do in there as they get older?
I'm definitely trying to make sure that I'm giving them the attention required, as their father, and not be so overconsumed in my work, for one. Mm-hmm. But two, keeping them as involved as possible, so that way they don't ever feel a limited amount of access to what it is that we're building. You know what I mean? Because I do believe that you can be anything you want to be. Just, are you willing to work for it? I don't know one person who wanted something, did the work for it, and then didn't get it in my life in 36 years. I know a lot of people who said they want some shit, didn't work for it, don't have it. I've seen some people get lucky and find it and couldn't keep it. Mm-hmm. But I've never watched somebody work hard at doing something and then not succeed at it.
You got to put in the work, bro. All the time.
Yeah. Making sure my kids understand that that's the possibility. You're watching the kid Ryan on YouTube. But bro, we can do way better than that. Crazy. That could be you.
Yeah.
But your own version of it.
Right.
Son, you do this well,
Yeah.
Right.
Let's highlight that.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to my son, because he's picked up a lot. He was just telling me the other day he wanted to make beats, he wanted to be a producer. We also have a podcast show that we're going to be putting up under the network.
Bro, that's fucking awesome.
So that's amazing.
Big Boy Talks. We don't know when we're launching it yet, but there will be pilots for all of our introduction shows. And like I said, we're producing 5 of them this year. So,
well, the cross kind of pollinate that, beats and all of that stuff. Alexis, our daughter, actually makes beats. She's in a music tech class in her school. It's part of the NVAA program here at the Paradise Valley district that they have. So she makes her own beats. She is on Spotify. So I'll send you all the links and stuff and everything. But yeah, that's amazing, because some, not all, but some of these schools like this one here has all of that type of stuff. So they have those music tech class where you can get scholarships for music to go on to be a producer and all of that stuff. And, we've been blessed with her because we've allowed her that access to hear and her hearing his music and your music, and all hail Pan music and all different plethora of people. It's pushed her to be like, well, I want to do this now, and she can. Exactly.
Her father is hip hop culture.
Mm-hmm.
We have to teach our children something.
Yeah.
we did something right if they want to do their version.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, she showed me, Marie showed me a beat that Alexis had made. And when I heard it, I was like, this can't be Alexis. This has to be like Franz Ferdinand.
Well, yeah, because I didn't even tell you it was her. I
Yeah.
just said, here, listen to this
Wow.
beat.
Yeah, she's like, hey, what is this song? And I was all, is this Franz Ferdinand? Is this the Stooges? She has her own sound. It evolves.
dope.
But that's to say, you know, we had her on here, and what you're about to do with your son, that's dope. Like,
Yeah, I'm
just
excited.
bringing them in however it works for them. Because
Yeah.
it's a new time.
Right.
You know, our daughter's 14. The age difference is not that far away, but
No.
what 8
From
to
10
12-year-old
from
and
10 to
12
14,
is
yeah,
way
it is
They're
very
kind of
different.
close, but not.
Right.
So that's great what you're doing.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Like,
I'm glad,
pushing everything forward.
yeah, I'm glad he found, you know, some joy in what it is that I do, because at the end of the day, this is all going to be accessible to him.
Yep.
This is just another avenue. It's not just like, oh, we're leaving a Click Sound and Stage company that's already doing well. Like, no, bro, we got something else we got to start it up. He likes reptiles. He wants to open up a reptile shop. So we invested into a snake, you know, not long ago, a couple years ago.
Lizards and shit and all that.
Yeah, so
iguanas.
he wants to do all of that shit. So I was like, yo, that's cool. We're going to have the first or one of, if not the first, by the time we do it.
Super reptilians.
Hopefully we will have the dopest boutique reptile shop mixed with hip hop involved.
Bro,
so that way there's, you know, think of smaller version of Trill, but with reptiles added to it.
No, of course.
That would be.
It's got a hip hop vibe, but
the,
what we do is reptiles.
Right.
That's dope.
That's
Right.
cool.
That's
Bearded
fucking
dragons
dope.
and
Yeah,
everything.
bearded dragons,
Snakes.
rapping and shit.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is to learn the business and then teach them the business end of it. Because, like, yeah, it's fun to go, you know, buy the world's most expensive snake. But, like,
but why?
I mean, bro, you don't have to get the most venomous either. Like, bro, you can go get a designer python and fucking, it's simple, bro. Go to some fucking, you know.
The little, what is it? The brown, white, and black one? Snake, we'll say.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. My son will probably tell you.
He'll comment.
I'm learning, dog. The other day, I was just soaking them and, like, you know, taking the shed off. And I was like, damn, this is a trip. I ain't never owned a snake before. So, you know, I've been learning with them, man. And I'm going to go to the extremes of learning how to, you know, breed them, learn how to go to these, you know, reptile conventions and stuff like that. So that way I can see what kind of, you know, I don't even know, breed of snake or line of pattern. You know, I'm learning. Like I said, I don't know. I just have to take this on because my son likes it and loves it. So, you know, I have no choice. You know, I don't feel like I have a choice, especially, you know, coming from the family we come from. What the fuck I look like? Not going to be an opportunity for my own seed.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that's the first thing that's going to happen. And then after that, we'll figure it out. We don't care about the money. We care about the fact that these kids get a chance to see that you can make anything reality. If you dream it, you can reach it.
Life you didn't. Not to say that we lived bad lives, but to further advance their right now, so their future is even further than our right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all worked some fucked up jobs.
Oh yeah.
Why should our kids have to?
Yeah. Why they got to start in McDonald's?
Why should they have to start off a fucked up job?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did we start companies to let our kids start from the bottom? I don't give a fuck what it looks like. You should have built some shit. Don't hate on my family for putting me in a position and me taking it to the next level and putting somebody else in my family in a position. How come y'all didn't build over there?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone has the tools,
you know,
but do you want to share it with everyone?
Right. Did you want to invest? Did you want to put that type of work in? The fact is, you didn't want to put the work in. I mean, anybody can take my seat, put their foot in my shoe if they want to, but you got to walk that shit. It don't matter. I can tell you the blueprint, but if you don't wake up at 5 o'clock and beat me in the morning to do it, you ain't never going to be this. It don't matter. You got to outwork me. And that's my biggest leg up. You know, it is that I'm a very hard man to outwork for what it is that I want to do. You may outwork me at my day job because I don't give a fuck to be the best pool guy in the world. But at my shit, I'll be goddamned if I let a motherfucker beat me out of my fucking, you know, job today.
Well, it's competitive. You got to stay at the top. Your top.
Right.
Not everyone.
Not anybody else. I'm only in competition with myself.
The
standards of yourself. You built those standards for yourself of like, all right, I've reached this standard. Now what's the next level of standard?
Exactly.
But for me, because what works for you may not work for us, but what works for us may not work for you. But how we work together, there may be one or two things that we done that may work for you, and then 1 or 2 things from you that work for us. But we all make it our own, and we got to do those standards and just move those standards up higher and higher. And that's what you're doing. And that's what you're showing your kids is, hey, you want to do this? Cool. All right, here's the standard. And then they reach it and you're like, cool, now push yourself. You need to go to the next standard.
Right. That was just the new rock bottom, homie. Still time to go up. There is no not.
There's
always that ladder.
You initially have to move up too.
Yep.
It's each one.
And I think that's the point when you realize when you have to pass the torch. Because if you could no longer take us up, then that means the torch needs to be passed, or else somebody else behind you is going to all of a sudden be in front of you.
Because we're not at the presidential suite yet.
Not yet.
So why?
Right.
But it's also knowing when you can't continue on.
And being able to accept that. And it can be tough for people. And, thank God for my father that he don't give a fuck about none of that, which makes it easy for me to go, you know what? I don't give a fuck about none of that. If I want my father's spot, all I got to do is outwork him. And if I outwork him and I can take it, then it was time for me to take it. And it's time for him to sit back and kick his feet up. You think he don't want to be retired?
And that's not what's saying with ego, though. Because I take it from your dad's like, I don't. That's not me. I don't have an ego, so goodbye.
Right.
And you too. You're like, yeah.
Or it could also be like, okay, you finally surpassed me. There you go. Now I know that you can have what I've been working for. Like, okay, this is what I was working for. This is what I was pushing you for, and you finally hit it. All right, now I can finally take a sit. Like, I can take a seat back and be like, he's gonna continue it on. We're good.
Right.
So it's that it depends. It's just your perspective on things. It's perspective. Yeah. If you think you can do something, you're gonna do it. Right. But if you think you can't, then you can't.
You're right, even if you're wrong. Right. If you can do it, you're gonna win. If you say you can't do it, you're gonna win. I say that all the time.
Right.
You're right no matter what.
You can't change an high canter's mind. That's what you always say.
You can't change a high canter's mind. I say that all the time.
Thank God for both my parents, man, because they shit. If we can come together and make that shit happen, both of them are like, I'll take the back seat. They encourage us to push back. Yeah, they encourage you. They push us for it. They let us know every day. There's not a day that goes by where they're like, yo, this shit hits and you can take it. I'll stop. You can manage all this shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I'll take the back end. You know what I mean? And it's it's not necessarily pressure, but it's a testament to the amount of work my father puts in. Because if you think I'm not sprinting to make sure that I can keep up the pace, he's the one who set the fucking pace. So this is only happening because I have no choice. It has to move this way because I see my father slave for his own company to pass something off to me. If I'm not willing to go that hard, what the fuck makes me think I'm going to inherit any of it? And what would be the point of inheriting if you can't keep it?
Exactly.
And you guys put on events. I like how you say, this isn't a rap show. This
ain't a rap event. It's a hip hop party.
There you go. And like your events, if you've never seen or been to a Gym Work Live anything event, you're missing out. But bro, it's like, I don't even like to call it a backyard. But I've been to backyard chingaderas. I've been to alleys. And no, they all say it's going to be this, it's going to be that. But no, but what you put on, bro, what you and your father together, because it's not just a box. It's not some rinky-dinky recycled box that someone put together to stand on.
Right.
Nothing against anyone that does that.
You gotta get it how you get it.
Concert, bro. I'm watching pinche, you name it right now, watching. And that's great that you guys do that. I don't know your father like you do, but what I know him from, he's a hard worker. Like, you guys set that up as a team.
Yeah.
You tear it down and you put it up together.
Right.
And you travel with it. Time to go to Memphis, time to go to Cali, Arizona, wherever you do. And that's what it's about. That you all are always in the suite, in the presidential suite, but we're not there yet. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Right.
At least from my perspective.
Yeah, no, I mean, it very much is that, life's definitely gotten more comfortable, of the past handful of years for us, but that's because we worked for it. That's the only way to get it, is to work, and it doesn't stop. So even when you are in the presidential suite, you got to stay in that motherfucker. Like, we started off in a motherfucking trailer. It wasn't like this. Y'all just catching the sweet shit because it's
Motel
sweet.
6 to a suite.
Come on, man.
You weren't with us when we were in the trailer, but you're with us
at
when you're in
all.
the
But,
presidential suite.
you definitely have an opinion now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's very much that, man. Like our Gem Work Fest is one of the biggest fests that we have. Last year, my parents allowed me to do 4 practice festival runs, 2-day events, introducing underground hip hop and underground wrestling, and it's done.
Fire ass idea.
Done amazing. It's done amazing as far as numbers and all that. But I mean, I told my father, what would this cost me if I had to rent it? So I know what I have to go get in sponsorships, investors, whatever, advertisements. And I was like, if I'm not your son, I'm just a client. What is it? He was like, I've seen $16,000 and $18,000 a day for what you have coming out and what you want. And I'm like, damn, I'm doing weekends. We're talking about $36,000 to do this shit. We're putting this as a fucking Toyota Camry.
Wow.
Just to do a 2-day festival that I'm doing for practice to be good at the shit so we could go get the motherfucking Camry.
Camrys.
Like, and that's the thing. I did 4 of them at the expense of my time, my energy, my strength. And I can't even say mine because my father, my brother, and my mother, when I can't be in Cali to load that shit up, they did it. And then when I get there and I'm setting shit up, my phone is blowing the fuck up. Somebody from the label inside is talking to me and I'm getting pulled away and nothing stops. I have to do physical work. Stop, do mental work. Stop, back to physical work. Oh shit, an artist, do I need to bring a flash drive? Yo, I'm trying to call you, bro. I'm like, it's a fucking event day, dog. You don't call me. Listen, if you want to fuck with me and you want to be where I'm at, why would you ever leave a possibility to not come prepared? Yeah. Have it on your phone. Have it in the cloud. Have a flash drive. Bring your laptop.
How many days? How many shows have you done?
Been fucking doing this, dog. You don't call me the day of, like, yo, is there a Wi-Fi there? Bro, I ain't answering this call. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Can you pick me up, dog?
Like, you know what? I set up a 24 by 16 stage with my brother and my father. We put up a trusting and line array so you motherfuckers have an opportunity. You got the nerve to ask me if you should break some shit? Like, you didn't see the level I was working at? Get the fuck out of my face there, bro. Yep. That's a disrespect to what the fuck we're doing. You know how many dues I'm paying just to practice for you motherfuckers?
To be great at it later. You're already going in great, but...
like, shit.
Again, and no one's always... Even though you're at a level, it's hard to find people at that same level in whatever they do.
Right. And
hey, dog, I'm here.
Yeah, patience I gotta have. I mean, you know how many times I said, hey, anybody who wants to come be a volunteer to help us set up, come get this experience. Because if you come volunteer a couple times, it's not like we don't have $1 million fucking company that looks for workers when we have major events. And if you stupid motherfuckers came and learned how to do some shit, then we can pay you and you can work for our company. But instead, you'd rather not volunteer, show up, find something to complain about. And now me, my brother, my father set all this up. Y'all go home. We break it down, load it up, take it back. Now there's a job opportunity.
You're going home or they're doing whatever.
Now I have a job opportunity and now yo ass want to come out the woodwork. Hey, sorry I didn't get to volunteer that one time, but if you guys have any work, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing out here. What are you going to do? Drag ass and slow us down? I'm not paying you.
We're not asking you to collect the shit, put it in the truck because you don't even know how to do that.
Still small business, dog. Like, crazy.
Damn. And that's very true, bro. Like, first one there, last one out, but always trying to do something. Hey, you need a hand with anything?
Right.
If I can help wherever I'm at, I'm not just done one the artist. No, hey, fool, you need a hand? Let me take these boxes.
Right. And that's kind of the way I am too. Like I'm not gonna lie. So we've been together 14 years. He's been doing this way before me. At the beginning of our relationship, it was very much like, why are you doing this? You don't get paid for it. Like, what's the point? And then I finally learned, like, okay, it's just a passion. Okay, if I'm trying to be his forever person, then I need to understand and get behind him and support that. And so now I'm the one that makes sure, like, hey, do you have your flash drive ready? Do you know what set you're doing? Are you practicing? What are we going to do? Like, it's very much like, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you do that? What time is this? What time is that?
Formula right there. Mm-hmm. That's the SupahLAtin formula.
SupahLATins. You heard it in your life.
That's it. That's it. If my parents were here, they would tell you the same thing. Exactly what you just said. That's the formula. Because my mom's been on board since fucking the 80s.
Before you were here.
Before I was even here, bro.
Since before you or your sibling were here.
At all.
She was
already doing
Yeah, I was just making sure, like, hey, okay, what time do we got to be there? Okay, that means we got to leave at this time. All right.
You're forgetting
cool.
the word. It's don't be a pendejo. How do you not know your own words to your raps?
Yeah.
Like she would.
And honestly, like doing concrete piñatas was the first time where I was like, okay, it takes a lot to be on fucking stage. Like, what the hell? And I'm just dubbing you. I'm just being your hype person. Like, this is a lot. Like, I'm having to learn 10 different types of songs. I don't know what set we're doing, but I'm going to figure it out.
She has the same energy as me.
Yeah, the same energy. And it's just like, okay, this is what it is. Like, this is what he does. And I need to support him just like he support me in my career and stuff. It's the same thing. It's that you have to have that support system. But it takes a lot of work. You got to be able to put in and help that other person. So, but hey, just so you know, anything you ever need, we're definitely here for you.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to be, potentially bringing Gemwork Fest to Arizona this year.
Hey, you got me in a volunteer. I'm there.
I'm volunteering.
I want to learn.
I appreciate you. But that's the idea, bro. I mean, because again, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something to say. But again, like if you really wanted what the fuck it was that we had, I mean, it ain't like we're sitting here hogging resources, dog. We ain't hogging up shit.
Putting our time into something that we believe.
We're trying to teach motherfuckers how to stand on their own. Hip hop is 53 years old, 54 years old. If this is the gear we're still using, it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about your guys' gear.
No, I know what you mean metaphorically.
You know, you go to any other event and you're like, yo, how do we have sound issues? Hip hop is having grandkids, dog. Nobody has a business.
Nobody knows how to channel in and channel out and master volume.
Managing the Burger King we started working at.
Yeah.
Like we didn't franchise. We're just managing the location. This is crazy, bro.
Whole family works here.
It's unacceptable, bro. I refuse to have this sort of access at my fingertips and not showcase how to do it. Because it's just, that's the responsibility that I walked into as a hip hop head, realizing there was a lack for something. You know, and in my culture, if you're the one who realized the lack, then it was your responsibility to do something, or you should have closed your fucking eyes walking through the door, bro.
You brought attention to something that no one else did. Take the reins. Go.
That's your responsibility now.
Tie your shoes. Go. Let's go.
Yep, exactly.
That's what it is. Or you're not about the change. You ain't about the solution. Everybody could point out the fucking problem. Who's doing and working for the solution? Who's just doing the solution
without bitching about it?
Because that's what the fuck needed to be done.
The problem by highlighting it, they're doing the change. All right, they're doing it. They're doing it. Yeah, bro.
That part, and that's the formula, bro. Ain't shit to talk about. Come out, work me. Come build with me. Come talk to me. I do events. I'm everywhere in the fucking country, dog.
True, bro.
Find me, talk to me.
Ox, thank you.
Exactly. Shout out to Ox for real, man, because
he's a real one, bro.
To be an OG requires certain things. I don't give a fuck how old you are. I don't give a fuck if it's hood or not. An OG is supposed to provide an opportunity. An OG is supposed to be able to get somebody paid. It's supposed to be able to give somebody a knowledge to get them into a new situation or predicament. Not to gatekeep and do it. You know what I'm saying? And no, listen, if that's what the fuck you do, that's what you do. But that's how come we're not talking about you. We're talking about Big Maradox. Because that man supports the real shit. He's the one who, you know how hard it is to find a venue in the first place out here? Everything's only gentrified. Right. And then to be able to go to Tucson and go like, oh, it's already done. I don't have to bring sound, nothing. I just get to do what I do.
Yep, just dial in and go.
Shit.
Shout out to Big Marino.
Shout out to the OGs. April 19th is my birthday bash with me and my weed vendor. His name is Packy Chan. Been my boy for almost 20 years.
Super Nat gonna be there too, right? Deal?
Super Nat is pulling up and he's gonna be rocking the beats. And I may be doing our open mic 100% over Super Nat beats that day. So he's gonna rock for about an hour.
And then we're gonna do hip hop karaoke.
Do a little boom bap karaoke.
Down the line.
Have a little fun. Yeah, no, we're trying to find. No, but I'm serious. We are doing some of that. We it's really weird how many people say they're a part of the culture and see that there's things that we need to do as a community to pull things together, and they got no vision.
Oh yeah.
No vision for growth, no vision for nothing. It's like you just want to keep hip hop in a box. Yeah. And I'm like, have y'all not seen my legacy? We don't play in a box. And if we play in the box at all, we're in all four corners of this motherfucker.
Right? Triangle, hexagon, everything's in it.
All in it. Yeah. So, for us, we don't know limits. We don't know restriction. We don't know no. What the fuck is no?
Just know KNOW.
That's it.
We know that we can do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bro, it sounds like you got a lot, you know, because you got the magazine,
Yeah. Gum
You got
Gum
Donkey
Magazine.
Kong?
Shout out to my partner, Baka, man. He
Baka.
he's seen this thing through and it's been dope. Gum is a Gemwork urban music magazine, and it's basically our version of Complex for Gemwork Fest, because everything at my Gemwork Fest down to the vendors is all hand selected. There is no, oh, well, you have the money, we take you. If I don't think you fit for my market, fuck your money. We never cared about the money. Still to this day, I don't care. I don't matter to me. I'm doing it this way. Not interested in breaking up no profits. If I can't have full creative control, I'm not interested. I'll do it myself because we have that much ownership. You know, we're seeing through that the culture is growing and headed in the direction for longevity because this is our culture.
Facts, bro. Facts. It is.
This is just one avenue on how to do it. You know, like I said, this ain't the right way. This ain't the only way. This was our way.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, we hope everybody finds their own way to be able to exist. You know, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, none of them are sharing the same resources. They all provide a different resource and they all benefit, keep each other in business. It ain't a hard thing to grasp. It ain't a hard thing to understand. Be able to provide a resource. You know, if you want to change the world, you can't be so self-centered and ignorant to the point where you think you yourself is going to change the world.
Yep.
I'm not by myself going to change anything, but me, Don One, Marie, B. Smith, Rika, we can provide a resource that can change the whole world.
Man, bro, you put it.
That's what we're doing.
You hit the hammer on the nail, bro, with that one. Fuck.
Because it's going to take all of us, bro.
It does. And we all got to work as a community. That's why the word unity is in community. We got to work cohesively together. Everyone has a different resource, a different thing that they bring to the table. But as one, we're a community moving it all forward.
Exactly.
I say that all the time. Unity and community, bro. And that's the only way to do it, you know? Where can our viewers find your music, your podcast? Where can they find you and all that you back and that backs you, bro?
Donkeybongstv.com. DNKYBONGSTV.com. That's going to be where you're going to be able to find, you know, in the very near future, 100% of everything. I was going to pull off of streaming platforms and follow suit like everybody else is doing to be independent. In the same breath, I'm not making music to be known and for streams. I'm using music numbers to leverage all of the other assets I can gain from it.
Mhm.
So for me to not be on Spotify at the current moment doesn't make sense for me and the movements I'm doing. I also, you know, am inheriting, you know, and have a family-owned business that's doing, you know, phenomenal. We work a third of the year. My dad's part-time retired now. You know, that's why him and my mom travel so much and kick it. So, you know, it's not, you know, a very recent, like I said, the financials that's not our problem. Visibility, you know,
Presence.
all of that. That's where I see I need to be for my network to start generating the eyes and attention it needs. You know, because if you can't access my music but only through me, then you just doubled up my work to have to go out to the people to keep marketing myself. And not that I don't need that, but I'm also not trying to be a rapper. So if my music is streaming hundreds of thousands of streams, I don't give a shit. What is that, a coffee?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A million streams is nothing
Right.
but a
I don't give a
coffee,
fuck
a large at that.
Give a fuck
Maybe.
about
At
that.
today's prices.
With,
Yeah.
with inflation, I
don't care
doubt
about
it.
that. But if I turn around and go, I have hundreds of thousands of streams and I can go get a side company like SoundHound to fund a tour for us to promote the new technology that they're going to be putting out, and my music numbers are going to do that, then I'm in the game to talk business because I have something to show for that.
Mhm.
Right.
Not that you can't get those analytics from a website. You know, I'm using all of it because it's all at my disposal and my fingertips. So I'm sure in the very near future, you're going to get bodies of work that are not going to be findable anywhere but my platform. As far as singles and EPs, nah, I'm going to continue to put those up and let them do whatever they do.
Right.
Gives you leverage, like you said.
Right.
That exposure.
Just to take the leverage.
You're
But
accessible. You're readily accessible to the listener, to the fan, to the average fan.
right,
That isn't directly in your grasp like this.
right.
You know, that's great.
Also, every Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., Arizona Mountain, we have our legendary Gemwork radio show,
Facts.
which is, you know, super dope. We're doing that every single week. So, you know, you could count on 52 shows a year.
Okay. All right. I like that. We do them every Thursday as well.
Yeah.
12 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, follow me on social media is at Brother Maaz, BrotherMaaz. You can follow us at Gemwork Radio, at Donkey Bonks TV, at Super Latin Legacy, and you can find me in your local neighborhood, bro.
Yep.
Hitting a halal market with a coconut water and some herb, and gearing up for the next Boom Bap show that we're gonna hold down.
That's what's up, bro. We appreciate you being here today.
Definitely.
Man,
thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate you being
thank you guys for having
on
me.
here
This
with
was
us.
amazing. This was
Anything
amazing.
else, brother?
Until the next time. I think it's gonna be once a month. I might pop up over there.
We might pop up
Yeah,
over there.
we might.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got space.
You heard it here live.
Yeah.
We're out. No reservations. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here, bro. I love you.
I love you too, mama. I appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So much.
You gotta get it. You get it. Like, did you get it? Does it click for you?
I'm like, oh, okay, so what happens when you don't have it? You're just,
You're faking it.
you're faking
Still.
it, so you don't really have it then.
You never believed that.
You buy gold
You
plated.
believed in. No, they believed in faking it, so they knew without knowing they would never get it because they believed in faking it the whole time.
Ooh.
That's a fucking tongue twister. See, if it wasn't recorded, they would have never believed I say what I say when I say what I say.
That's the commercial break.
Real shit. On the real shit.